These two problems look really similar. They give you two coordinates, but we have to figure out what style they are from the directions. This one says slope-intercept form. Slope-intercept form is y equals mx plus b. Okay, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I labeled them for you there. Okay, so I have m equals y2 is 2 minus y1 is -5. X2 is also -5. And x1 is 5. Okay, so that makes the top 7 and the bottom is -10. Any questions about finding the slope? Okay, so finding the slope is the first step, and then we have to say x equals and y equals, and you pick one of the points, whichever one. I usually just go with the first one, 5 and -5. And then we're going to plug these three things into y equals mx plus b and solve for b. -5 equals m is -7/10. X is 5 plus b. -5 equals, okay, when you multiply a fraction times a whole number, you multiply the whole number times the top. Yep, -35 tenths plus b. I'm going to keep this. I would normally reduce this, but I'm going to keep this because I can make this -50 tenths equals -35 tenths plus b. Do you see what I did there? Yeah. So if you want to, you can show that math. Add 35 tenths. -15 tenths equals b. And now we need to reduce. So they both have 5. So divided by, I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go this way. I'm going to go this way. Divide by 5. Divide by 5. -3 over 2. Y equals -7/10 x minus 3 over 2. You might be saying to yourself, Mr. Talbot, that is kind of a heinous slope-intercept form problem. And I would like to say I understand, except for that we've been doing this since chapter 2. So have a little fraction or decimal in there shouldn't kill the whole thing. Okay, that is not on your quiz today. That is from chapter 2. It is on your final, however, just to let you know. But this is on your quiz today. So find the equation of the exponential. It should say exponential, and that is y equals ab to the x. So you see slope-intercept form, mx plus b, exponential, ab to the x. We do this with a table. And you put the points in the table and you make sure that you have a spot for 0, which will happen anyway in this problem because I need my x's to go from -1 to 2. So I have -130 and 2, 1.92. Okay, after you make your table, you count how many B's it will take to get from the top to the bottom. In this case, it takes 3 B's. So 30B cubed equals 1.92. Notice that we made it really hard for you to try to guess what B is. Okay, divide both sides by 30. Okay, now we need to talk about a couple of things here. First, you have a cube, so you need a cube root. You're going to need to be able to cube root on the quiz, or fourth root, or square root, or any of the roots. However, the AP stats test is going on right now, and they took one of my sets of calculators with them because just in case somebody's calculator died or something during the AP exam. So we're gonna have to figure out calculator situation when we have our quiz. But for now, I'm going to type 3 first because it's a cube root. Then I'm going to hit math button and scroll down to the root with the little X in it. And it plugs the little 3 in there. Hmm? Yes. Okay. 1 second. Okay. All right. What you do is you type 3 first. Then you're going to do second exponent button. Exponent button is the upward arrow, so second exponent button. And it's going to put a little X there, but it's going to plug the 3 in, I promise. 0.064. This? No. Did you get it, honey? Okay. Okay, I have 3 scientific calculators over here for people who don't have a calculator at the moment. Okay. All right. Now, A is whatever number is next to the 0. So your start. So I need to go 30 times 0.4, which I believe is 12. Can somebody verify that it's 12? Okay. So A equals 12. And you guys know that if you go forwards in the table, you multiply by B, and if you go backwards in the table, you divide by B. Do you know that? Okay, so Y equals 12 times 0.4 to the X. Okay, we are using a resource page today. It's got some like curves, line crossing it. This guy. So if you could find this guy and just set it to the side. And then here's 65, but let me show you the joke. Okay, so here's our agenda. Today we're gonna do double graph and shape. I'm gonna use two different colors of colored pencils. It's really not anything new. It's just double. And then we're gonna have our quiz at the end. I gotta get my colored pencils out. Okay, and homework is 70 through 76, and there is my bicycle. Are you enjoying my bicycle? Okay. All right, you guys, set up number 65, please. We're doing 65 and 66 in the notebook, and then 67 and 68 on the resource page, and then the quiz. That's how it's gonna go. Yeah. Yeah. You realize this is not for every boxing class. Like, I can't do this like every time. It's just like a one-time deal. Otherwise, the school will be very mad at me. All right, so I'm gonna use two different colored flare pens and two different colored pencils. Colored pencils are over on the table. If you want to use them, you can. You don't have to, but why not? Because it makes things fun. Color. Doesn't matter the color. Probably not white. And you're probably going to want to rule it for a straight line. So I want to talk about this word real quick, systems. You guys did a whole chapter on systems. Systems are when you put two equations together, and you guys did three different types of systems: equal values method, substitution method, and elimination method. Those are all systems problems. Now we're doing systems of inequalities, which is basically like going to be a pretty picture. We're going to do exactly what we learned yesterday, but we're going to do two of them on one graph. I know. Okay, what I want you to do is take your first color and write the first inequality, and then take your second color and write your second inequality. So I just took the top one and wrote it here in blue, and I took the bottom one and wrote it over here in red. I'm going to try to keep consistent with blue and red. So for step one, we're going to pretend that we have y equals negative x plus 5. Whenever you do an inequality problem, any type of inequality problem, step one is pretend you have equals. Okay, and this particular line should be not dashed, not dashed. It has a D in it, but it's at the end. Solid. Does everyone in the room understand why it's solid? Okay. So I'm going to go, what? Because it's got the or equal to on it. Okay. So I'm going to go up 5 for the y-intercepts. And then the slope is -1. So I'm going to go down 1 over 1. Correct. This next one's going to be dashed. Okay, so first step is pretend you have equals. Graph the line either solid or dashed. Okay, step 2 is to test a point. I like to use 0, 0 if I can. Can I use 0, 0 in this problem? Yeah. Yes. Test 0, 0. And if you need further clarification, I can use 0, 0 because it's not on the line. It's not one of the points on the line itself. Okay, so I'm going to put 0 and 0 in here. 0 is less than or equal to -0 plus 5. Now don't freak out about -0. That's just 0. 0 is less than or equal to 5. That's true. So I'm going to put a true on the side with 0, 0. And I'm going to take my blue colored pencil and shade toward the true. Always shade the true side. All of the things that you're shading are coordinates that would make true in that particular inequality, including the line. Okay. Now what we're going to do is pretend that none of this is here except for the x and y axis. You're going to ignore the line. You're going to ignore the shading. You're going to ignore the true. You're going to work on this one now. Step 1. Pretend you have equals y equals 2/3 x minus 1. Okay, so y-intercept is -1. Slope is up 2 over 3. This one, however, is dashed, which we have to write before Mrs. Talbot screws up the dashing of the line with a flare pen. What? What? No, I just mean that this is like a heavy pen, and if I make it solid, it's going to look terrible if I have to go through and like white out pieces of it to make it look dashed. For some reason, I have trouble remembering, like, not that something should be dashed, but that to actually do it when I graph it. I don't. Does 0, 0 lie on my dash line? No, it's not on my dash line. So that means I can use it. That's the question you were answering, is can I use it? Okay, so 0 is greater than 2/3 times 0 minus 1. 0 is greater than -1. True. Okay, so now I take my other colored pencil and I shade toward the true. Okay. This is the answer to this problem. However, the actual set of coordinates that are in the solution set, meaning the actual answers, are all of the ones in the double shaded region. The double shaded regions are the ones that would be true in both inequalities. When you guys do like the review assignment, you guys know I give you what's called CUDA worksheets. You know what CUDA is? Like the review assignments CUDA and the review notes is CUDA. If you have the answer sheets for those, you know, sometimes I put the answers on, they're only gonna shade this part. They're not gonna do two light parts and a dark part. They're only gonna shade the dark part. Just warning you ahead of time. You're not wrong if you graph yours and you have two light and a dark part. They're just only gonna shade that final answer, which is the double shaded part. Okay, that's done. How do you feel about it? It's the same thing we did yesterday. It's just that there's two of them. And it's pretty. Okay. Make this graph tall because the y-intercept is 10. The same thing. This is just another problem of the same exact area. And then the resource page, and then the quiz, and then Miss Talbot can stop being stressed out. That's actually a false statement. I'm stressed about the AP Stats kids taking their exam right now. I hope everything's going well. Put a lot of work into that. A whole year's work. Oh, Violet. I ordered the alligator squishmallow for the classroom. Maybe up there is my other squishmallows. Or maybe over here with this squishmallow. Or maybe next to that squishmallow. Although I don't know about putting an alligator and a lion right next to each other. I feel like that's actually better than the alligator and the gazelle, which is already right next to a panther, which I don't know about. I feel like, you know, I'm just asking for problems. And then, you know, I got this guy on my desk and he's just, you know, he's one bite size. So I don't know. Top predators. What are you gonna do? Problems. Okay, all right, I'm gonna start with the first one over here. I'm gonna write y is less than x plus 2 in blue. And then in red, I'm gonna write y is less than or equal to 10 minus 3/4 x. Okay, step 1, y equals x plus 2. And dashed or solid? Dash. Let's see if I can actually do it. Okay, so y-intercept is 2. Slope is 1, so up 1 over 1. Part of me inside almost feels like I could just leave it like that, but that's not really dashed, that's dotted, and I don't know. Zero, zero, okay to use? Yes. That's good news. 0 is less than 0 plus 2. 0. Is this true again? This is weird. This shouldn't always be true. You guys know that, right? Okay. I don't know what's happening. I just work here. Okay, anyway, 0, 0 is true, so that means I'm going to shade down here. Oh, that's some excellent shading, Mrs. Talbot. Oh, thank you. My child is one of those children that is like perfect at blending colored pencils. Can't do it. They have like the $70 box of, the fancy color pencils and they shade them all with each other. Mine just look like crap. But it's fine. Okay, anyway, y equals 10 minus 3/4 x. So the book threw a little spice in here for you. They put the y-intercept first and then the slope. Oh man. This one is solid though. So y-intercept is 10. And then down 3/4. Alrighty. I think it's going to be true again. This is just not right. It's going to make you like falsely believe that they're all true, but they're not. I think so. 0 is less than or equal to 10 minus 3/4 times 0. Well, that's not, eh. All right, you guys, notebooks are done. Not the colored pencils though, and you might want those, just one of them for your quiz anyway, for your shading on there. Okay. So here, there's actually inequalities that go with this. Yes. You definitely do. You don't need a ruler though. This page is almost strictly a coloring page. Crap. I don't. Oh, this is not going well. Okay, what I wanted to say was, okay, I wanted to do them in two different colors. Okay, anyway. Okay, now this resource page might actually help you with your digital escape from last night, because it's going to tell us to use some common sense to figure out our shading. Now, to get full credit, you need to show the point being tested, but you can actually reason out the shading if you understand what the crocodile symbols mean. Okay, first question I have for you is, which one of the pieces of the graph is this red part? Is it the line or the curve? The red part, the line. You can tell because it's like mx plus b. You can also tell because it's dashed. Okay, this is saying y is greater than. That means above. So take your colored pencil and shade above the dashed line. Whole thing. Does anyone see why this is tying to the digital escape? Because that first problem or second problem, they ask you to go backwards and that shading is up above the line and you're supposed to know that that's greater than. Do you see what I'm saying? Okay. Yes, exactly. So the curve is less than or equal to, so it should be solid and we should shade below the curve, which includes this piece over here. In this particular picture, there's actually two regions that are solutions regions. This down here and this up here. Those are both solutions regions because they're both double shaded. Any questions about number 67? Shh. Are you good with 67? Okay, now move down to 68. And we have some baby ones. Now what they did was they changed the inequality, so we have to change our shading. So the curve is blue, right? Okay, so this one is saying greater than or equal to the curve. So I need to shade above the curve. And then this one is saying greater than the line, so above the line. Okay, next one. This one's greater than or equal to, so this is above the curve again. So much coloring. I do prefer the size of these little baby ones better though. You do? Okay, and then this one is less than, so that's below the line. Okay, last one. Less than or equal to below the curve. And less than below the line. Fancy. All right, you guys can put everything away except for a pencil, calculator. You might want a colored pencil and a ruler. If you don't have a calculator, I'm gonna suggest that you do as much as you can without it, and then the first person done with their quiz, I'll bring you their calculator. Yes, I can tell you. Somebody's done. Oh, actually, I think it was mine. That is supposed to be in your backpacks. I don't know why I see them. Today's the 7/5/7/24. That would be the height I would like to be. But no or less, I'm 5'4". I get older and then shrink. It'll happen to you too. Not yet. Anyway. You guys got figured out where to divide it. I'll just wait and see if we get. I think you put it back. Stop the recording.